hello everyone. Oh my gosh, I just realised I should plug in my phone or it might die during first chapter fun. Now wouldn't that be a jolly wheeze? Hold on. I thought about doing this earlier. Hold on, I'm going to show you my ceiling, everyone. That's my splendid microphone. Ah dear. See the things we do on first chapter fun. There we go, I'm back. I just had to plug in my phone. What a wally, as we say. What a prat. Anyway, good afternoon everyone. It is, let me move that a little bit. There we go. It is Thursday. No it isn't, it's Tuesday. I am all over the place now. It is Tuesday. It's November 24th. It's 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And that means it is time for first chapter fun. And I am absolutely thrilled to be here. I've got so much to tell you and so much to share. It's been quite the morning. I almost feel like it's 10 o'clock in the evening actually. So welcome. If this is the first time you've joined First Chapter Fun, huge welcome to you, of course. First of all, I am live here on my phone on Instagram and on Facebook on my desktop on the webcam. So hopefully that will all stay nice and stable. Good morning, good afternoon, Ali and Hank and Jen, and I'm live on Facebook. I see Shannon, I see Hank as well. Wonderful. I see that all is well and all is live. How is everyone doing today? We got snow the other day on Sunday night. We got about 7 centimetres. What's that? About 3 inches or so, I guess, which I don't know why that would surprise me. I've lived in Canada for 10 years. This should not come as a shock, and yet somehow it did, as it does every year. But I hope everyone's well. I see Ausma has joined us. Wonderful. We'll be getting to her book in just a minute. Hi Carol, and Ali's on Facebook as well, and Lynn, lots and lots of people joining. This is absolutely wonderful. So this is episode 110 of First Chapter Fun, if you can believe that. Started back in March during the pandemic, and here we are still in a pandemic, but Hank and I, Hank Philippi Ryan and myself, Hannah Mary McKinnon, we are here every Tuesday, every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, including this Thursday for Thanksgiving, to bring you the first chapter of a different book. Not ours, occasionally ours when they publish, but not ours, other authors. And we're delighted to do this for authors and publishers and bring you thrilling, great reads and introduce you to new books or new to you authors or both. So we always record these episodes and we save them. So on Facebook, if you're in the Facebook group at First Chapter Fun, if you're not, you're watching on Facebook, go join on Instagram, go join the Facebook group. You'll find them in the new Facebook under media, videos, and the 109 previous episodes are all saved there. In the announcements on Facebook, in one of the tagged posts, you see the list of the 109, soon to be 110 episodes that we have aired so far. So you can scroll down and see which books we've read and watch to your heart's content. On Instagram, you will see them on our IGTV. They're all there. The only problem with Instagram is that when we move the video, when Hank and I save the video on Instagram, once we've gone live and we save it to IGTV, all of your wonderful comments disappear, which is so frustrating. Instagram, sort it out. We've been asking you this for months and you still haven't. Yet here we are. So if I get booted from one platform, it happens sometimes. If Instagram chucks me out or Facebook stops me, then I will come back to the platform, or we will post the video from the other platform on the one that stopped working. So hopefully all will be fine. So today we have, I think, Hank, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that this is our very first fantasy book, epic fantasy, part of a series actually, The BLADEBONE by Ausma Zehanat Khan. What a cover. And I'm going to introduce you to this absolute delight in just a second. But before I do that, I wanted to give a shout out to last week's read, one of last week's read, Better Luck Next Time by Kate Hilton. And it published today. So today was her pub date. So many congratulations to you, Kate. And it was one heck of a morning for me this morning, because we did a big cover reveal for my novel, my next one, You Will Remember Me. And I've never done a coordinated cover reveal before, ever. And there were so many people involved, and I have so many Facebook posts and Instagram posts and Facebook, Instagram and Twitter posts to go and catch up on, because everyone helped me reveal this cover, You Will Remember Me, and I'm so thrilled to show you that real quick before we go to what this episode is all about. Oh, this pub's in May, so let's get rid of that and go back to this book. So Ausma has just said that this is the MC Aryan on the cover. Now, she is kick butt, both Ausma, the author, and Aryan, the protagonist. And I can't wait to introduce you. So shall we get cracking? Can I introduce you to Ausma? Let me just check the comments again. We have Carol, we have Glennie says no snow in San Diego. Do you ever get snow in San Diego? Ever? Has that ever happened? I wonder. We have Don Johnson Jr. Hello. We have Ausma as well, who's watching on Facebook too, and I'm so excited. Let me see. Beth is saying, oh, from Kansas, cold, dreary and raining. Almost wish it was snowing. Oh dear. Thank you, Carla, and the congratulations to my cover. Wow, so many people have already joined on Instagram as well. Lots and lots of people watching, which is fantastic. So, before I introduce Ausma Zehanat Khan and her book, The Bladebone, let me tell you that there is a giveaway. Yes, indeed. Ausma is giving away a copy of the book. So as always, what you need to do is leave a comment. If you're on Instagram, you have to leave one during the reading, because as I mentioned off the top, the comments disappear, but not on Facebook. So on Facebook, you can, you don't have to rush, but leave one anyway. You have to leave a comment so that you can win a copy, or be in for a chance to win a copy of The Bladebone. Not affiliated with Instagram or Facebook. I just have to pop that in there as well so everybody knows. All right. I'm hugely excited to introduce you to Ausma, because we met last year. We did a Women Killing It. We weren't actually killing it, obviously, but we were at a thriller writing festival in Ontario, and it was just fantastic, and we met, and it was just really lovely. Ausma is, and I've said this before, when I read the bios, and I knew, because we'd already met, a little bit about her background, but reading her bio and sharing this bio is so impressive. And I said this last week, I read these bios and I think, I'll go and get my coat, because it's impressive to say the least. So while I'm reading, don't forget to leave a comment for Ausma as well. You can ask her a question, because you will discover that she doesn't just write epic fantasies. No. So let me tell you all about it. Ausma says we totally killed it, Hannah. Yes, we did. It was such a fun festival. All right, so this is Ausma Zehanat Khan. Ausma Zehanat Khan is a British-born Canadian living in the United States, whose own parents are heirs to a complex story of migration to and from 3 different continents. A former adjunct professor at American and Canadian universities, she holds a Ph.D. in international human rights law, with the 1995 Srebrenica massacre as the main subject of her dissertation. Previously the editor-in-chief of Muslim Girl magazine, Ausma Zehanat Khan has moved frequently, travelled extensively, and written compulsively. She's the author of the award-winning Esa Khattak Rachel Getty mystery series, in chronological order, The Unquiet Dead, The Language of Secrets, A Death in Sarajevo, Among the Ruins, A Dangerous Crossing, and A Deadly Divide. She's also the author of the Khorasan Archives fantasy series, published by Harper Voyager. The Bloodprint, The Black Khan, and The Blue Eye are the first 3 books in this series, with the epic conclusion, The Bladebone, which just published last month. So this is the cover. So this book is the 4th in the series, this epic fantasy, and this is the epic conclusion of said epic fantasy series. And they are all available now. So if fantasy books are your jam, or if you've never read one, well, you're in luck, because we just have a series, happen to have a series for you here of 4 books. So don't run right now, but once I'm done reading, go and make sure that you look that up. Now, you can find Ausma on Facebook, Ausma Zehanat Khan, Instagram, AZ Khan Books. On Twitter, she is Ausma Zehanat, and of course, her website, where you'll find all the links, ausmazehanatkhan.com. And all of those are on in the description on Facebook, so you can hop over there if you can't find those links. And of course, she's watching on Instagram and Facebook right now. So, as I mentioned, she also writes mystery. So if mystery is more your thing than fantasy, then you have lots of books of Ausma's to go and check out as well, which I just find absolutely incredible. Here we go. So what I'm going to do, because this is the 4th book in the series, I'm going to read you a little bit, a summary, and then the description of the Bladebone. And then I'll read you the first chapter. So we give you a little bit of an intro of what has happened thus far. Because Ausma, one of the questions often that we get when there are series, should we read these in order? Should the books be read in order, or can they be read in any order? That would be great if you could pop an answer up on Instagram and Facebook for that. That would be really cool. All right, so here we go. This is the summary of the Khorasan Archives. A dark power called the Talisman, born of ignorance and persecution, has risen in the land. Led by a man known only as the One-Eyed Preacher, it is a cruel and terrifying movement bent on world domination, a superstitious patriarchy that suppresses knowledge and subjugates women, and it is growing. But there are those who fight the Talisman's spread, including the companions of Hira, a group of women whose power derives from the claim, the magic inherent in the words of a sacred scripture. Foremost among them is Arian, the first oralist, and her fellow warrior, Sinia, skilled fighters who are knowledgeable in the claim. This daring pair has long stalked Talisman's slave chains, searching for clues and weapons to help them battle the preacher. Now they may have discovered a miraculous symbol of hope, the Bloodprint, a dangerous text the Talisman has tried to erase from the world. But other important touchstones include a manuscript known as the Sana Codex and a mysterious weapon called the Bladebone. Finding the Bloodprint promises to be Arian and Sinia's most perilous undertaking yet, an arduous journey that will lead them deep into Talisman territory, confronting enemies at every turn. When the preacher brings his armies to besiege the Black Khan's capital in the west, Arian and Sinia know the real battle has begun. They rely on their allies, the Black Khan and his army of Zayadin, Wafa, a Hazara boy freed from slavery, and Danyar, the silver mage who is also Arian's beloved. The companions will need every ally and weapon they can find in their cataclysmic showdown with the preacher. So, Ausma says definitely read in order, lots of Easter eggs in them that I wouldn't want you to miss. All right, so the Bladebone is the 4th in the series. And I will, what have I done with it? Here we are. So many papers flying around. Let me read you the introduction to this 4th book. The Bladebone. Armed with the powerful sorcery of the blood print and supported by the talisman, the oppressive one-eyed preacher is on the verge of conquering Ashfall, the Black Khan's capital in the west. Yet not all is lost for Aryan, Senir, and the companions of Hera. If these brave female warriors can find an ancient magic weapon known as the Bladebone, they can defeat the preacher and crush his cruel regime. Neither Aryan and Senir nor their allies, the mages of Khorasan, know the Bladebone's whereabouts, and not all may survive the search to uncover it. Pursued by a nefarious enemy aligned with the preacher, they become separated, each following a different path. Then, in their darkest hour, unexpected help appears. But is the Hanum of Black Aura friend or foe? Aryan may discover the answer too late. When the secret of the Bladebone is finally revealed, the knowledge comes at a devastating price for Aryan. As the capital falls, only Hera, home of the citadel of companions, stands in the way of the preacher's victory. While the companions rise to defend their home from enemies outside and within, Aryan must face off in a cataclysmic battle with the preacher that pits the powers of the bloodprint against the Sana Codex. For those who survive, Khorasan will never be the same. That sounds just like such a book that you can just lose yourself in. Oh, and Lise has a question. Are they done in audiobook format? So are these books available in audio book format? That would be a great question. Yes, she says. Yes. Yes, Ausma says. Yes, also available in audio. Fantastic. And look at that, guys. Just, I'm going to hold that up there for a second because that cover really is striking. This fierce female warrior that you just know she means business. I just love this cover. It is absolutely gorgeous. So sit back and I will read you the first chapter of The Bladebone by Ausma Zehanat Khan. Chapter 1. From the near house of worship to the distant house of worship. The night journey passed in a rush of wind, an eternity or an instant, an endless fall or a bright, buoyant skimming over enigmatic deserts and opulent green valleys. Aryan couldn't define it. Her body wasn't fatigued, her mind was pliable and fresh, yet she carried centuries of loss in the innermost parts of her soul as she was transported from the cavern of the blue eye to a city flattened by time, abandoned save for the deepest reaches of memory. When she looked to her right, she saw Senir, and behind Senir, Danyar and Yusuf, the blue mage whom Aryan had first encountered in the lands of Negus. Moments ago, or a lifetime past, Aryan had been at the centre of the blue eye, a vast geological formation in the heart of an unforgiving landscape. She had stood on a stone plinth, surrounded by tranquil waters that seemed to shift beneath her gaze, looking up through the roof of the cavern to a source of illusory light, Senir beside her, Danyar and Yusuf at her heels. There had been an orphan boy in her care, but now the boy was gone. He had vanished into the light, the same light that had brought them all here, all except for Wafa, whom she couldn't find, no matter how she searched, the loss acquiring the painful weight of an ache. Nor had she seen him at the other stops on the night journey. She'd been taken into a past that originated long before the wars of the Far Range, to ancient holy cities whose texts and ideologies had been lost to the encroachment of time. The night journey had shown her the extent of that loss. Secrets had been revealed. She had offered prayers for the dead at the site of a grave in the city of the Friend. She had also witnessed the birthplace of the messenger of Isaïn. She had been without her companions at these places of detour. How would she be able to explain her experience? Where she had been and what she had witnessed wasn't possible. The experience atemporal, outside of time that had meaning in the present or the past as they had studied it. The cities she'd visited had been preserved from the moment of the events that had given them their significance, rare and new, with untouched olive groves and lemon trees, the vales dressed in almond blossom. Her only reference to these places was her own sense of wonder. As soon as Arian had given herself up to the source of the light that shone upon the blue eye, her consciousness of the physical world had altered. Her vision had fractured, so that wherever she turned her gaze, she witnessed both the immediate, tangible present and the impossible, distant past of a world undamaged by war, where difference tinged each note of familiarity she tried to ground herself in. Even the words in her mouth had changed their shape, the vowels softer and sweeter, the consonants more pronounced, the claim, her mother tongue, its lexicon, her place of birth. But her name remained. Companion of Hera, first oralist of Hera. Most blessed of her time to speak the word, most blessed to apprehend the word. For Arian, to read was to divine the deeper meaning within. Language and light shimmered like a quicksilver fire in her veins, gilded the corners of her vision, so that when she looked upon the world around her, she was seeing it with dual vision, with light upon light vision, keen as the lancing edge of Danyar's silver gaze, pure as a note of Sinir's rich voice, true as the heart of a lost and orphaned child. She existed now between these three things: the penetrating look, the startling song, and the pure soul, in the immaterial, atemporal part of herself, the self that had undertaken the night journey to visit a place of myth, the city of the fall. To visit the holy city, where the Adra had given place to the miracle of the Isaim. These were the gifts she had witnessed with the light upon light vision. She drew a breath that shook with her sense of awe, felt her diaphragm move, and then she was back in the body again, feeling the weight of sinew and bone in her heels, her heart slammed hard against the armour of her ribcage. She was standing on a plateau just above the fissure of a ravine to the south. She gazed down, seeing it with her dual vision, the gold-dusted sands, the sweeping curves of olive groves within the creases of tumbled hills, whose climbing walls were studded with quartz that glittered with hidden sparks. And now, in her present, the same landscape, abject and overthrown, the unbreachable divide of a yawning bereavement. She shook off an unexpected despair. The dual vision didn't change, though she was no longer alone. Her companions were at her side again. Sinir to her left, a brightness about her that seemed to flare from her circlets. Danyar to her right, his hard shoulder brushing hers, and a little distance apart, the blue mage, to her surprise. He had relinquished his duty to guard the portal of the blue eye. Why he had done this she did not know, but she wondered if he had been gifted with the dual vision as well. Her turquoise gaze had never been so sharp, the cowl over his head ringed by a glowing aura. Yet nothing about Danyar was changed. Even with the dual vision he appeared as she had always known him, his grave expression lightened by love as he turned his head and caught her gaze. He reached for her hand and squeezed it, his face shadowed beneath the hood of his cloak. He shrugged it from his head, so that his coal-black hair tumbled to his shoulders. Though she tried, she couldn't discern that same aura of light that outlined the figures of the others. The connection between them remained the same, their bond pulsing like a heartbeat, deepened by the sacrifices that had cost them a life together. He smiled at her, touching his forehead to hers, His breath drifted over her lips. She drew it into her lungs, a secret, silent caress. "Where are we?" he asked. "Where did the night journey bring us?" To the far distant house of worship. She saw it with the dual vision, but in the present she was somewhere else. She returned the pressure of his hand with her own. "I think to the outskirts of the noble sanctuary, but I feel it without seeing it." His head dipped down to the ravine where the scuffs of faded clover grew. "After the wars of the far range, perhaps the noble sanctuary sank into the ground." "No." The blue mage's warning was stark. "A holy city does not die. Its essence always remains." His turquoise eyes cut through the falling light. "There." He pointed to a thicket of bramble that covered a flight of stone stairs. Light outlined his arm as he pointed, light that bloomed without burning. Arian's breathing stilled, then picked up again when Danyar's hand brushed her cheek, drifting to her throat with a tenderness that made her swallow. "Shall we explore? Twilight is falling and I'd like to find a place to pray." The words had the warmth of a caress on her lips. The scent of a storm was heavy in the air. Cold stone and rich mud mixed with the faint tang of oranges carried by the gust of wind that whipped their cloaks against their bodies. Sudden and precise, lightning strikes splintered the cobalt sky. Arian glanced at Cinia, a smile in her voice as she said, "The lightning must be for you, a reminder of the one who will come to claim you, as the Foxlord promised you in time back." Cinia glared at Arian, but their interplay was cut short as the blue mage strode ahead. "Hurry," he urged them. "We've a long night of rain ahead of us." That was the summary, the description, and the first chapter, or part of the first chapter, of The Bladebone, this epic fantasy series, fourth in the series and conclusion of the series, by Ausma Zehanat Khan. That was a fun read. I had to ask Ausma for some pronunciation of the words because I didn't want to get them wrong. I hope I did all right. That's so scary. No, I don't want to get the words wrong. So I hope that was good. Lots and lots of Hank says you are scary. I'm scary? No, I'm not. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Joan. Just said this was a fun reading. And oh, here's a little for those on Instagram. Asma says, truthfully, I based Danyar on my gorgeous husband. Ah, so sweet. So Asma, she also says, this series is about the power of women, but is also replete with sexy, charismatic men. Well, you can't say fairer than that, can you? Equal rights and all that, right? We have to have a bit of both. There we go. Let me show you that cover again. This gorgeous cover. There we go. You see it properly there on Instagram. The Bladebone by Ausma Zehanat Khan. Lots of comments on Instagram as well. I'm so pleased that, yes, Tracy says, Tracy Clark, we read from Tracy's book, What You Don't See. Love that book. Love reading that book. Find it in our archives. She says, where's Tracy's comment? Pretty writing. I agree. It's so lyrical. It pulls you right in. It's so descriptive. It's like you're all actually there. And I absolutely loved reading this. Thank you, Ausma. Thank you, Harper Voyager, as well, for letting us do this and read for you. I hope you enjoyed that. So let me tell you, no, wrong cover. No, still wrong cover. Oh, I was just panicking thinking I don't have the cover of Thursday's book on my iPad. Oh my God. But here's why. So on Thursday, we know that it is Thanksgiving in the States. I'm in Canada, so we're ahead of you. We had our Thanksgiving last month in mid-October. But are we going to leave you hanging on Thanksgiving? Are Hank and I going to not read to you on Thanksgiving? Of course we are. Of course we're not going to leave you hanging. And yes, of course we're going to read to you. Now, on Thursday we have another lovely author. And I'm going to give you a couple of clues. And you might realise that I'm a bit of a fan. There we go. We're going to be reading one of Gilly Macmillan's books. Now, she started off with this one, which actually was renamed Burnt Paper Sky, but is renamed What She Knew. She's written The Perfect Girl, Odd Child Out, I Know You Know, which I have on my Audible, and her brand new one, To Tell You the Truth, has just published, and this is the one, boys and girls, that we will be reading to you on Thanksgiving on Thursday. And Hank and I are both so excited to bring you another brilliant book. So that was today's episode. I'm going to show you the cover again of The Bladebone by the lovely and seriously talented Ausma Zehanat Khan, and I hope you enjoyed that. So join us again on Thursday if you can. Don't forget, it'll always be in the archive if you can't. And of course, have a wonderful Thanksgiving, but please stay safe. It would be lovely if we could get this pandemic to go away. So stay very safe, please. So join us on Thursday, 12:30 p.m. as always, here on Instagram and here on Facebook. And until then, please stay safe, stay kind, and we will see you on Thursday. Thank you for watching.